Though his life ended in pain and injustice, Xavier's story is not defined by tragedy.
Now on Sunrise, loved ones say goodbye to 10-year-old Xavier Williams, how they're honoring his memory and demanding justice. And FSU Student Union is set to reopen. This comes after a deadly shooting that left 2 people dead. What students can expect when heading back to campus. Plus, flames on the move. A fast-moving brush fire sparked in Apopka, the latest on the fire threat.
WESH 2 News Sunrise starts right now.
But first, we want to get to breaking news out on the roadways this morning. All lanes are closed on State Road 408 East due to a crash. This is near the exit of a crew is on the scene right now investigating, and as soon as we learn more information, we will bring it to you right here on air and online at WESH.com. Good Sunday morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Megan Moriarty. Alongside me here is First Warning meteorologist Cam Tran. Cam, it's going to be really hot out there today.
That's right. So if you thought yesterday was hot, today's actually going to be a few degrees hotter than what we saw on Saturday. As we take a look at temperatures this morning, and it's a comfortable start. We're right now at 66 in Ocala, right now at 66 in DeLand, and 66 in the city. Beautiful. But by this afternoon, though, we will see those high temperatures climbing into the low 90s across our area, especially inland spots. We'll see a high of 93 degrees in DeLand, 94 in the Villages, even Orlando, 93. Areas along the coast, though, we're expecting highs in the middle 80s. 86 in Daytona Beach and 85 in East Smyrna Beach this afternoon. As we take a look at our first warning radar, not a single drop of rain at the moment, but there's a slight chance a few of us could get a sprinkle or two in this afternoon, mostly for interior spots west of I-4. We could have a 10% chance of rain in the forecast today. Otherwise, most of us will stay dry. Looking at your 12-hour forecast, we are going to see a bright and sunny day, a very hot one this afternoon. Some areas will actually be nearing record highs, but some much needed rain is arriving soon. I'll let you know when, coming up in about 15 minutes. Megan.
Thanks, Cam. Fire crews spent yesterday afternoon battling this brush fire in South Apopka, but it isn't the only fire that has sparked this week, as firefighters are dealing with dry conditions. WESH 2's Spencer Tracy is live in Apopka this morning, and Spencer, Orange County Fire says this fire grew 25 acres.
That's right, and definitely the smoke was visible from miles away. We're a little bit about a mile away from where that brush fire broke out. We're at the nearest fire station. Now, the good news is crews were able to contain the flames and no structures were damaged. Our photographer saw the flames approach within 50 feet of at least one home on Washington. So that's some good news. There was no damages to any homes. Now, we do know that Orange County fire crews were monitoring hotspots throughout the night. They have since cleared that area. Now, a lot of Central Florida is under a burn ban, and we know that Sumter County is the newest addition to the list, and we have all of those on our website for more information on burn bans. I'm covering Orange County live in Apopka. Spencer Tracy, WESH 2 News.
Thanks, Spencer. And remember, our WESH 2 News weather team is working around the clock to keep you up to date on changes to our forecast. For the latest details, download the WESH 2 app and turn on the alerts for breaking updates. Tomorrow, opening statements are expected to start for the so-called Xbox murder trial. A jury was seated in the trial this week. Troy Victorino and Jerome Hunter were sentenced to death nearly 20 years ago for their roles in the murders of 6 people in Deltona in 2004, partially over the recovery of an Xbox. But the jury's decision was not unanimous, so a new sentencing trial is now underway. The owner and captain of Toho Riverboat Adventures has pleaded no contest to some counts of sexual assault of a minor. Osceola County court records show Richard Lawrence was sentenced to 10 years in prison as of Friday. Lawrence and his fiancee, Frances Fernandez, are accused of having sexual encounters with a 17-year-old. Lawrence denied doing anything wrong. In Marion County, deputies arrested this man, 32-year-old Delvin Thornton, who they say ran over a 66-year-old woman with his go-kart. Officials say this all stems from an argument. Thornton is accused of driving straight towards her and running her over. When deputies arrived, the victim had several obvious wounds on her body and face, including broken teeth. Thornton is now facing several charges. Also in Marion County, a motorcyclist died after a crash yesterday afternoon. Florida Highway Patrol says it happened just after 4 on County Road 25 and Southeast Sunset Harbor Road. An SUV stopped at a stop sign before entering the intersection. That's when a motorcyclist hit the side of the SUV. The motorcyclist was a 74-year-old man. He died at the hospital. The other driver is okay. We have an update in the search for the driver who hit and killed a man then drove off in Osceola County. FHP says they have found the car involved in that crash. Now, this happened around 1:30 Friday morning near East Osceola Parkway. FHP says that the car will now be processed for evidence, but they do say that they are still looking for the suspect. If you have any information for FHP, please call FHP or the crime line. This right here is the 10-year-old boy who died at the hands of his own mother, and her boyfriend was laid to rest yesterday. Xavier Williams spent 4 weeks in the hospital before succumbing to his injuries. WESH 2's David Jones takes us to Connecticut, where Xavier's father lives and where family could say their final goodbyes. Both Mills and Walker will continue to be held in jail without bond. FSU is set to reopen its student union tomorrow. This comes a little more than a week after a gunman opened fire there, killing 2 people and hurting 6 others. President Richard McCullough released a statement on X saying, in part, after careful consideration and listening to our students, we have decided to reopen the student union from 3 to 5 p.m. Monday, April 28th. He goes on to say the opening will be conducted with the utmost respect and care for those affected. No employees or volunteers will be required to be present or will be required to return to the student union until they are ready. There will be a moment of reflection tomorrow afternoon at 3 before it will officially open. At last check, the 5 patients treated at Tallahassee Memorial Hospital have been released. There's 1 person remaining, presumably the suspected shooter, 20-year-old student Phoenix Ickner. Thousands of people have enjoyed the sunny weather during Daytona Beach annual Jeep Beach. We're taking a live look right here outside from our tower cam. This is the last weekend of the event. Law enforcement officers are reminding people to buckle up and drive responsibly. And right now at 5:10, we're going to do a check here of your weather with First Warning meteorologist Cam Tran. Hey, Cam.
That's right. For the final day of Jeep Beach week, we are looking at plenty of sunshine and a very comfortable start there at Daytona Beach this morning around 9 o'clock. At noontime, plenty of sunshine and staying dry. 5 o'clock, it will be quite hot, though, with temperatures hovering right around to the mid-80s. Speaking of dry, here's a look at their satellite and radar on this Sunday morning. It is clear and quiet all across our area. It is very dry, and hence more counties have been added to the burn ban. As you heard Megan say earlier, Sumter County has been added to the mix. Really, the only county in Central Florida not under a current burn ban is Marion County and Osceola counties. Basically, everyone else has a burn ban in place. Some good news in terms of that, some rain in the forecast for tomorrow. I'll track out the hour-by-hour timing for you coming up.
A local lifeline in crisis. Matthews Hope has spent over a decade helping others, but now it's in danger of closing its doors.
There's no more money. There's just no more money. So we're not going to be able to purchase any food, clothing, or hygiene.
Why they say their donations are drying up.
Monday morning, opening statements begin in the so-called Xbox murders resentencing.
Plus, a major construction project wraps up on I-4.
Start your day with WESH 2 News Sunrise, starting at 4:30 a.m.
A local nonprofit that serves thousands of people experiencing homelessness says it's losing so much money it may end up shutting down. WESH 2's Sinead Gebrigedigas spoke with Matthews Hope Ministries about their urgent plea for help. There's nothing like seeing people take the time to clean up the streets in their neighborhood, but it's even more motivating when the people doing it are high school teenagers. Students from Evans High School got up bright and early yesterday to take part in a community cleanup. The school teamed up with Orange County's Pine Hills Neighborhood Improvement District. Organizers say this is all about neighborhood revitalization and encouraging others to join in. Thousands of people celebrated culture in downtown Orlando for the annual Puerto Rican Parade and Festival. Vendors, activities, and live performances highlighted the island's heritage and contributions to the Sunshine State.
It's been wonderful today, seeing all of the families, all of the ages, all of the different genres of music, all of our different foods.
We are super happy that, we are showing not just to Orlando, but we are showing the world how we are.
This year's theme was renewable energy to create awareness in the Hispanic community about climate change and energy consumption. All right, your time now is 5:17. I'm joined here with First Warning meteorologist Cam Tran, checking in with the weather today. Going to be a hot one.
That's right, hot one today, and then finally some much needed rain will be arriving, but not until tomorrow though. So those are our two top morning headlines here. We are talking about near record heat in some locations this afternoon, and then much needed rain finally coming to Central Florida tomorrow. I'll have the hour-by-hour breakdown in just a few seconds. But as we walk out the door on this Sunday morning, we are currently at 66 in DeLand, 66 in Bithlo, 65 right now in St. Cloud. Here's a look at the temperatures this afternoon. It will be hot. Hotter than yesterday. So if you thought it was hot yesterday, we're actually going to inch that up by a few more degrees. 93 the high this afternoon, the city beautiful, 94 in the villages. Even our coastline areas will be quite warm today. A high of 86 in Daytona Beach, 85 New Smyrna Beach, 85 in Titusville. So if you're heading out to the coast, just keep in mind the rip current risk is on the high side. And as you wake up on this Sunday morning, we're also seeing some patchy fog. Got some patchy fog developing right now up in Marion County as well as in Flagler County this morning. So if you're traveling out in those areas, just be extra mindful of that low visibility. First warning radar, as it's doing its sweep, not pick up any drops of rain, but we do have a slight chance of a rain shower or two in the forecast today, but mostly going to be for interior locations. You can see around 3 o'clock a spot sprinkle possible, and then around 4 or 5 o'clock a few isolated rain showers in the forecast. That's why I put a 10% chance of the rain in the forecast in today. Otherwise, it's going to be a very warm and sunny day, or really hot actually. 93 the high this afternoon. As we look at for tomorrow morning, we're going to start off mostly in the middle 60s, low 70s for areas along the coast. And then tomorrow afternoon, highs will be mostly in the upper 80s, right around 90 degrees for interior locations. And that is because a weak cold front will head our way. And that's going to also bring us a chance for rain for tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, here's a look at Monday morning. We are looking at a quiet start. A couple of coastal rain showers can't be ruled out, but the main line of rain won't be really arriving until that front arrives and the sea breezes move inland. Here's a look around 3 o'clock, a few pop-up showers. Notice around 4 or 5 o'clock, we start to see a couple of scattered rain showers and even some isolated thunderstorms. And then that will continue until about 7 to 8 o'clock tomorrow evening, and then clearing out in the overnight hours. So here's a look at your Central Florida certified most accurate forecast. A slight sprinkle today, but a better shot tomorrow with a 40% chance of rain in the forecast, a 20% chance of rain on Tuesday, and then we dry out the rest of the week. And then our next best chance of rain won't be arriving again until next weekend. Back to you.
Thanks, Cam. Play that song. The Orlando Magic are getting ready for Game 4 tonight. Their fight to even out the series against the Boston Celtics. That and more ahead in sports.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Advent Health.
Local, live, late breaking. WESH 2 News Sunrise starts now.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Megan Moriarty. Your time right now is 5:29. This is what we're working on for you this morning. A 10-year-old boy who police say died at the hands of his own mother and her boyfriend was laid to rest. Xavier Williams spent 4 weeks in the hospital before succumbing to his injuries. Loved ones gathered in Connecticut, where the boy was originally from, to mourn his loss and celebrate his life. Thousands of Jeeps have been spotted in Daytona Beach all week as Jeep Beach kicked off this weekend. This is the last weekend of the event, and law enforcement officers are reminding people to buckle up and drive responsibly. And right now we're experiencing some record high temperatures. I'm joined right now with First Warning meteorologist Cam Tran. And Cam, it's going to be incredibly hot today.
That's right. We could see a few places actually tie the record or get near your record high this afternoon. Right now, though, as you walk out the door on this Sunday morning, not a bad start. Pretty comfortable. Right now we're at 67 in DeLand. Good morning, Ocala. You're at 64 and 66 right now in the city. Beautiful. But later on this afternoon, boy, will it be hot. We are talking about near record high temperatures, and on top of that, some of the hottest air that we'll see so far this year. We're expecting a high of 93 in Orlando. That's not quite near the high of 97, but look at that. Sanford, a high of 92 later this afternoon will be near your record 95. Leesburg, we could actually surpass surpassed your record today. Your record high is 93. We're forecasting a high of 94 later this afternoon. Here's a look at our satellite and radar as you walk out the door. A pretty quiet start there and dry, but we could see an isolated sprinkle this afternoon for areas along I-4 on westward. Only a 10% chance of rain in the forecast today, so the chances are fairly low. Right now, winds are pretty light as we start off your Sunday morning. 12-hour forecast showing bright sunshine today, but it will be hot with, again, high temperatures climbing into the low 90s for interior spots, mid-80s along the coast. We have a better shot for rain coming tomorrow. I'll show you the hour-by-hour tallying for you coming up in 15 minutes.
Thanks, Cam. This morning, Orange County firefighters are checking for hot spots after a 25-acre brush fire raged in the old landfill of 414 in South Apopka. WESH 2 Spencer Tracy is at an Orange County Fire Department in Apopka this morning. And Spencer, these dry conditions all week have sparked multiple brush fires.
They have, Megan. I mean, this dryness is no joke. And for a lot of these firefighters, it's been a constant of fighting so many fires across Central Florida. And with no rain, they really have no break in sight. Our photographer saw the flames approach within 50 feet of at least one home on Washington. Fortunately, crews were able to contain the flames and no structures were damaged. Now, most counties in Central Florida are under a burn ban besides Osceola and Marion. And a lot of firefighters are really suggesting to stick to that no burn ban because they say any type of burning of debris or anything, it can spark in seconds. I'm covering Orange County live in Apopka. Spencer Tracy, WESH 2 News.
And these are just a few of the brush fires that popped up this week. Dry conditions could cause small missteps and start a big fire. A fire earlier this month near St. Cloud started after someone accidentally released a balloon that hit a power wire. While these situations are rare, fire officials say 90% of brush fires are caused by people. Officials say if you have to burn or cook outdoors, use extreme caution. Always have a water and shovel nearby. Never leave a fire unattended and make sure it's completely out before walking away. Also, keep roughly 3 feet of space between grills, fire pits, and anything flammable. Now to Vatican City, where hundreds of thousands of people filled St. Peter's Square for Pope Francis's funeral yesterday morning. The traditional Catholic service honored his humility, sacrifice, and commitment to his faith. A plain wooden coffin laid atop the steps of St. Peter's Basilica. People gathered outside the Vatican while Francis's body was taken over the river to be buried in a tomb in Rome's Basilica Santa Maria Major, his final resting place next to his favorite icon of the Virgin Mother. The 88-year-old is the first pope in more than a century to be buried outside the Vatican in a modest burial, which is what he wanted. And as the world mourns the Pope, Catholic leaders are looking ahead to the conclave, the gathering of Catholic cardinals to choose the next Pope. That process starts 15 to 20 days after the death of the Pope. The participants are concealed in the Sistine Chapel. They are forbidden from speaking to anyone outside of the process. Rounds of voting continue until one candidate receives a 2/3 supermajority. It can take several days. The crowd waiting outside the Vatican is notified a Pope has been elected when the chimney above the Sistine Chapel billows out white smoke. While many leaders from across the world were attending the Pope's funeral, this image of a face-to-face meeting between President Trump and Ukraine's President Zelensky has been circling around. This comes as high-stakes talks to end Russia's war on Ukraine ramps up. NBC's Aaron Gilchrist reports the meeting is a cry from their last historic meeting in Oval Office. The president also said in a social media post that they may have to deal with Putin differently, suggesting that he may turn to more financial sanctions as a consequence for continuous strikes in Ukraine. A rally was held in Tampa for a woman deported back to Cuba. They chanted in English and Spanish, asking city leaders to bring the woman back to the U.S. Her attorney told the Associated Press she had an outstanding deportation order after missing an immigration hearing in 2019. She was detained for 9 months, but because Cuba refused to take her back at the time, she was released in 2020 under an order to regularly check in with ICE. This week, when she showed up for what she thought was a routine meeting, she was deported and detained.
We keep going to the Cathy Castro office. We want to go to Ruiz Scott office too because we want Haiti back. It's really hard, especially for the kids. I see a lot of people, they're feeling like we feeling now. You know, it's really bad. It's really bad.
Protesters say they plan to keep raising their voices until they get a response from elected officials. With the annual legislative session headed to overtime because of the lack of budget agreements, the Florida House will take off tomorrow. Speaker Daniel Perez told House members on Friday that he was canceling a Monday flood session. Lawmakers were slated to end the 2025 session this Friday, but budget and tax differences will make it impossible to finish on time. It's unclear whether leaders would extend the session after Friday or bring back lawmakers later. However, the Senate is scheduled to meet tomorrow afternoon. In Seminole County, Oviedo is celebrating 100 years since the city was incorporated. This is video of some of the festivities at Center Lake Park. There was a free carnival, a walk-through exhibit showing Oviedo through the years, and a fireworks show. All right, check this out. Florida Highway Patrol troopers spotted this gator sitting on State Road 528 near US 1 last night. Traffic was swerving around it, creating a possibly dangerous situation. Troopers were able to block the road until FWC arrived. A trapper relocated the gator to a secluded swamp near Cocoa. SpaceX is aiming for a Falcon 9 launch off the Space Coast tonight. Liftoff is tentatively set for just before 11. This Starlink mission will send 23 satellites into low Earth orbit. There are backup launch opportunities available on Monday. And your time now is 5:39. Let's get a check-in with your weather this morning with First Warning meteorologist Cam Tran. Good morning, Cam.
Yeah, the weather looks great for tonight's Falcon 9 launch. It's going to be an evening launch, so if you can step outside just before 11 o'clock tonight, it will be a beautiful sight. From a weather standpoint, a 90% chance it will be a go. Really, the only weather concerns will be a few cumulus clouds and amber clouds in the area. Take a look at our satellite and radar this morning. A pretty quiet and dry start to the day, and we are expecting beautiful sunshine, but boy, it is going to be a hot one. Even areas along the coast, it will be quite toasty. Here's a look at your 12-hour forecast for Daytona Beach. If you're in town for the final day of Jeep Beach, it is looking great. We are looking at a high of 86 degrees. 10% chance of a spot shower or two this afternoon, but I really think most locations will be dry. And speaking of dry, almost all counties in Central Florida, with the exception of Marion and Osceola counties, are now under a burn ban due to the dry conditions. But some much needed rain is moving in soon. I'll show you when coming up.
Big things are happening at Universal. The special perks for pass holders ahead of the grand opening of Epic Universe.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Advent Health.
Young patients at Orlando Health Arnold Palmer Hospital may be focused on their health, but that doesn't mean that they have to miss out on special events like prom. Kids and teens got to dress up for an evening at the Emerald City. Orlando Health transformed part of the Winnie Palmer Hospital into a music and dance hall. This hospital says that it gives patients an opportunity to dress up and create lasting memories in spite of their health challenges. SeaWorld is pushing back the opening date for its newest ride due to what they call unprecedented demand from pass members. Expedition Odyssey is now set to open to the public on May 9th. Ride previews will now begin May 1st when the grand opening initially was scheduled. Expedition Odyssey is an immersive 4.5-minute indoor flying theater with 2 levels with 15 sides on each side. Now, some of the animals featured in the film will greet guests inside the Arctic exhibit at the end of the ride. And over at Universal, the park says pass holders are going to love the month of May as the park unveils new perks. Starting May 1st, pass holders will have additional perks at select restaurants in Universal hotels like free desserts or BOGO drinks. There will also be exclusive dining locations and menus at Lombard's Seafood Grill in Universal Studios or at Universal's Great Movie Escape in City Walk, and other exclusive menu items like Voodoo Donuts. Pass holders will get discounts on photo packages, and 3 park power and seasonal pass holders can get early admission to Universal Volcano Bay. These deals last until May 22nd. And this morning, taking a look at the countdown from the opening day at Epic Universe, 25 days out. And if you're looking to head to the park today, it's going to be a hot one. Definitely going to need that sunscreen and the water. Thankfully, we're getting some rain tomorrow or later in the week.
That's right.
Yes.
We are expecting some rain tomorrow in the forecast, which is very much needed here. As you know, almost all of our counties are under Birdman minus Marion and as well as Osceola counties. The unfortunate news is it's only going to be for one day. So Monday, we do have that chance for rain showers and a couple of thunderstorms as well. A slight chance for a sprinkle Tuesday and even today, but really not much. Then as we go into next weekend, that's when we start to ramp up the chances of rain again. Weak cold front does roll through tomorrow as well, and that actually drops our temperatures. Look at that Tuesday afternoon, a high of 83 degrees, but then we gradually ramp up those temperatures again as we head towards the latter half of the week. Waking up on this Sunday morning, we're seeing some patchy fog out there. Right now in Marion County, we're seeing some patchy fog. We did see some earlier in Flagler County. Looks like that's clearing up a bit. We're also seeing some light fog right now in Daytona Beach. When I look outside this morning, this shot of beautiful Sanford, courtesy of Venue 520 on there on the water. We are looking at a dry start on this Sunday morning. Right now, 69 in DeLand. Good morning, Sanford. You're at 69 as well. 66 right now in the city. Beautiful. It's going to be a very hot day and seasonally hot, actually. We're looking at a high of 93 this afternoon in Orlando. Our average high should be in the mid-80s, so running well above that. Sanford, we're looking at a high of 92 later on. Leesburg, 94. That's actually going to shatter your record high for today. And even along the coast, it's going to be quite hot with highs in the mid-80s. Satellite and radar showing dry skies and clear conditions. As we take a look at your 12-hour forecast, you're going to need to drink plenty of water today. It is going to be unseasonably hot, but mostly dry, though. There's a slight chance, a 10% chance we could see rain in the forecast today, but it's going to be very isolated, mostly west of I-4. Tomorrow morning, starting off pretty comfortable, mostly middle 60s. Highs tomorrow with that cold front moving in will not be as hot, but still coastline locations expecting mid-80s still. Inland spots upper 80s to right around 90 degrees. As we wake up on your Monday morning, can't rule out a spot coastal rain shower, but the best shot for rain tomorrow will be in the latter half of the day. Around 3 o'clock, a spot isolated shower possible. Then by 4, 5, 6 o'clock, you see we could see a couple of thunderstorms with those sea breezes colliding. Again, favoring more I-4 on westward. And then as we go into the evening, a spot shower can't be ruled out along the coast. So a weak cold front arrives on Monday, and we are going to see behind that a slight cool down, and then we'll also see a couple rain showers tomorrow, which is very much needed. High pressure builds in behind it. That could bring a couple rain showers on Tuesday with that onshore flow, but as we head into Wednesday, we'll be drying out again. Here's a look at your Central Florida certified most accurate forecast. A pretty warm week ahead, minus Tuesday, where we see a brief cool down, and then we're looking at temperatures climbing to near 90 again by late week for areas along the coast. Today is going to be a hot one, but you too will see a few showers tomorrow, cooling us down. Highs rest of the week mostly into the low 80s.
Thanks, Cam. Now to Soledad O'Brien for a look at what's coming up this morning on Matter of Fact. Hey, Soledad.
Hi to our WESH 2 viewers, I'm Soledad O'Brien, and here's a look at what's coming up on this week's show. She went from working on Wall Street to trying to save Main Street. This entrepreneur is encouraging people to buy and start small businesses, keeping them out of the hands of major corporations and investment firms. We travel to Austin, Texas to see how her efforts are helping others build personal wealth.
The way that we were taught how to make money is super flawed. We were actually never taught how to get ownership or increase our earnings at all.
Plus, how to address America's massive federal debt. I talked to Carolyn Bordeaux, who heads a nonpartisan organization advocating for greater fiscal responsibility. We talk through some of the possible solutions. And many Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. We meet a California family who experienced homelessness after an unexpected job loss. The tough lessons they learned and are now sharing with others. Those stories and much more this week on Matter of Fact.
Matter of Fact with Soledad O'Brien airs Sundays at 9:30 a.m. on CW18 and 10 a.m. on WESH 2. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This First Morning Weather Update is sponsored by attorney Dan Newlin.
They may be small in stature, but 3 fifth graders from Woodlands Elementary have big hearts. WESH 2's Jason Guy sat down with them for this week's WESH 2 Community Champion Spotlight. A new hour of WESH 2 News Sunrise starts in just minutes. Downtown Orlando turned into a sea of color and culture as thousands celebrated the Puerto Rican Parade and Festival, the sights, sounds, and spirit of the island. President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky met in Rome on Saturday, the push to reach a peace deal in the Russia-Ukraine war.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Advent Health.